Welcome to SpiritDAO's member onboarding process. In this course, we'll provide a surface-level analysis of the 8 dignities and why they are a vital aspect of our spirituality in alignment with the single truth and relational universe. The 8 dignities represent a suite of systemic rights unbound to any state or nation. They are spiritual in that they most fully recognize the self as the relationship between the individual and the systems surrounding them. Furthering these works is a significant step towards alignment with the single truth and relational universe. The 8 dignities are not merely material provisions. They represent a profound shift in our understanding of human dignity and our relationship with the world around us. By ensuring that every individual has access to these basic rights, we create an environment that maximizes individual access and agency, empowering them to more greatly align the observable infinities. In our world of abundance, it's paradoxical that many are still starving. This issue of hunger is not because of insufficient food supply, but rather political and logistical hurdles. Similarly, water, a fundamental human need, is controlled by corporations, leading to inequitable access, which is troubling given the crisis of extinction. It's essential that we ensure consistent food and water security for everyone as part of the 8 dignities in order to most fully empower them to individually actualize. Food security includes physical availability of food, economic and physical access to it, its proper utilization, and stability of these factors over time. We need to democratize access to advanced agricultural technologies, reduce food waste, and challenge systems that increase instability around food production and access. Concerning water, corporate control and private ownership challenge its status as a human right. This clashes with our core values of relation, equity, and awareness. Efforts must be made to ensure public global ownership of water resources. Personal choices, such as adopting a vegetarian diet, can significantly impact global food and water security. Industrial meat production contributes to pollution, deforestation, and involves inherent cruelty, going against our values of relation and minimalism. It's also worth noting the detrimental effects of industrial fishing. In conclusion, to achieve a future where everyone enjoys the 8 dignities, we must address these systemic issues while also considering our personal lifestyle choices. The concept of housing as a human right focuses on offering everyone secure and stable accommodation without undermining the principle of private property. The current housing model, rooted in profit, extraction, and bound to a single form of property and contract, creates extreme inequities in the power dynamics between owner and tenant. Existing zoning laws and fear of property devaluation resist the development of affordable housing, despite the minimal impact on existing property prices. Additionally, housing as a commodity fortifies class distinctions and socioeconomic inequities. The idea is to transform housing into a public asset that is both flexible and equitable, avoiding the dichotomy of viewing housing as an investment and a basic necessity. Addressing this conflict involves challenging deeply entrenched systems of racial and economic discrimination that have shaped housing access in the past. SpiritDAO proposes the creation of a housing DAO, a global community-run project that ensures secure housing for all, regardless of their financial capacity. These houses would be flexible in terms of occupancy, easily accessible, and independent of the private market. This approach can potentially deflate private housing prices, encourage more sustainable building practices, and prompt reforms in property laws. In essence, the goal of Housing DAO is to ensure housing security for all, enabling people to direct their focus and energy towards self-expression and actualization rather than worrying about survival. Healthcare should be a global public good, ensuring everyone has access to high-quality treatment regardless of location or situation. Our current systems fall short, often putting barriers to healthcare, which hinders our individual actualization. For instance, the United States model fails both patients, who pay twice as much compared to other industrialized nations, and doctors, who spend a significant amount of time dealing with insurance providers. Perhaps more relevant is that within the present organization, a single accident out of an individual's control can immediately bankrupt them. A shift to a global healthcare system could save lives, costs, and improve efficiency. To reach this, we must think beyond traditional insurance, encouraging innovation in the medical field and making healthcare a cooperative effort, unburdened by profit motives. For example, starting with something as simple as sanitary disposables, hospitals can consolidate purchases to cut costs and increase efficiency. Our current system of medical research and development is overly reliant on profit, often overlooking less lucrative areas like rare diseases, and creating unnecessary inefficiencies. We envision a public global healthcare network, inspired by open-source software principles, where medical development is transparent and accessible to all. This removes financial motives from healthcare, ensuring everyone gets the care they need, regardless of wealth. For instance, instead of pharmaceutical companies solely funding drug development for profits, a global healthcare DAO could record and track contributions to a shared project, reimbursing expenses from collective funds. Rewarding both success and failure promotes inclusivity and learning. This system also requires creating alternative pathways for medical education, to alleviate the financial burden that often pushes doctors into profit-seeking behavior. This public healthcare system, based on the principle of health as a human right in alignment with a relational universe governed by the single truth, offers a profound step towards systemic actualization and embodies our core values of relation, equity, and enthusiasm for life. Education is the cornerstone of systemic actualization and one of the most extensive sections in the original text. It shapes our core values, making us more aware, flexible, enthusiastic, and courageous through the learning process. Reimagining education empowers individuals to more proactively direct the flow of their time experience. The education system we have today was designed to meet the needs of moments long gone, focusing on obedience, memorization, and fostering competitive individualism over collaboration. It fails to nurture the diverse forms of genius in every child, causing those who struggle to fit the mold to feel devalued and discouraged. This outdated system also puts undue pressure on educators, forcing them to focus on test prep and grading rather than fostering holistic learning. Standardized testing further compounds this issue, prioritizing profit for conglomerates over genuine knowledge acquisition and often penalizing historically disadvantaged communities. Additionally, the funding model for education, rooted in local property taxes, further exacerbates inequity, leading to glaring discrepancies in resources available to students based on their geographical location. To align with our core values, we need to foster an educational atmosphere that empowers students to explore their unique interests through selective depth and allow teachers to passionately guide this exploration without fear. This shift will better prepare us for a universe that values quick learning, research, and collaboration, and empower every individual to reach their fullest potential. Our vision seeks to reimagine education as a sacred human dignity, not just a process bound by traditional schools, political actors, or rigid ideologies, recognizing the reality of our ever-changing universe. Our novel matrix learning approach breaks the mold of single-direction, hierarchic education. Instead, we create a multi-directional, interactive learning environment where teachers guide and facilitate, not dictate. Whenever possible, teaching subjects from a variety of perspectives. This method isn't restricted to a particular age or topic. It's a new educational philosophy that prioritizes critical thinking, cooperation, and personal exploration over rote memorization, preparing individuals for an unpredictable future while fostering alignment with the single truth and relational universe. Reimagining education involves encouraging collaboration and analytical thinking over rigid obedience to a process. Equity in education is key. Every child should have access to quality education, regardless of economic circumstances. Thus, systemic actualization involves federalizing and globalizing education systems. This reshaping of education would involve thorough research into best practices from high-performing schools and adaptability to cater to local needs. We recognize that this transition may meet resistance and disparities in readiness, but our commitment to developing the individual is unwavering. Transforming education becomes a shared effort where standards and improvements are continuously upheld, with failing schools given professional assistance rather than blame. Ultimately, education is a human right, crucial for individual agency and resisting crises. Denying it based on economic status stands in conflict with our individual and shared alignment with single truth and relational universe. Education in a systemically actualized society is a lifelong endeavor, preparing us for a rapidly evolving world of technology, automation, and changing job landscapes. Aligning with the single truth of constant change, we must create accessible networks for continuous education, reflecting our core values of flexibility, awareness, and enthusiasm. To achieve this, the responsibility of education is shared, with DAOs, corporations, and state education systems offering up-to-date knowledge and training, even within niche expertise areas. This not only expands opportunities but combats information isolation, fostering collaboration and innovation. Lifelong education fuels systemic actualization, empowers individuals, resists manipulation, and ultimately allows us to thrive amid the challenges of technological ascendancy and societal change. We exist within an ever-expanding universe of information, continually evolving through the data we perceive and the decisions we make. This reality emphasizes the importance of information as a fundamental dignity. Everyone should have access to humanity's most accurate, advanced, and reliable knowledge to navigate and shape their world. Our vision is a global cooperative, an information hub free from cost or restriction, similar to but exceeding Wikipedia in scope. This co-op aims to bridge knowledge gaps, align ourselves with the truth, and promote equity. Historically, control over information has fueled power imbalances and weaponized knowledge. Our path forward challenges this status quo, transforming information from a tool of dominance into a resource for universal self-actualization. The movement against privatization of academic knowledge exemplifies this shift. Instead of perpetuating these disparities, we advocate for the broad access of knowledge as a global public good. Mass media often distort our perception of reality, leading to division and misunderstanding. Rejecting sensationalized narratives and focusing on reliable, local, and academic sources is one step towards regaining control of our informational experience. We do not strive to control or censor, but to create an ecosystem of free, open, and unbiased information. By harnessing the power of collaborative intelligence, we can accelerate progress, promote open innovation, and facilitate universal access to knowledge. By integrating information as a fundamental dignity, we make strides towards a more equitable world, enabling everyone to express their potential, regardless of their circumstances. Communication, an essential part of our human existence, is a key pathway for exchanging information and connecting with one another. It is a fundamental right, aligning with our core values of equity, relation, and flexibility. For equitable communication access, we propose the establishment of a publicly owned global communications network DAO. Much like a local community controlling municipal broadband, this DAO will serve as a collective force to break down barriers set by private and state monopolies, promoting innovation while ensuring services like the Internet are accessible and free to all. Take, for instance, the monopolization of device manufacturing. It generates waste with yearly upgrades, contradicting our drive towards minimalism. Our DAO will advocate for responsible device manufacturing, balancing progress with waste reduction. It will also create secure communication channels, immune from state control or censorship, protecting this sacred human right. The spread of anti-communication movements, especially those championed by dominionists, to deny access to ideas challenging the status quo, pose a threat to human flourishing. The DAO might actively counter such movements, preserving the freedom of dialogue, barring those promoting oppression. As communication technologies evolve, it's vital we ensure their wide availability, reducing friction in communication and empowering collective transformation. The 8 dignities, including transportation, are integral for individual and systemic actualization and to express core values such as enthusiasm. Access to efficient transportation networks, whether terrestrial or interplanetary, mustn't be a privilege reserved for the affluent. Transportation as a fundamental right also provides a right to escape or exit, a necessity for those whose birth lottery might otherwise subject them to diminishment. Shipping, a vital component of global transportation, is currently inefficient, profit-driven, and ecologically harmful due to private ownership. Systemic actualization proposes consolidation of shipping companies into a public domain, fostering cooperation and efficiency. This shift facilitates innovative logistics management and stricter ecological regulations, promoting collective good over individual profit. We can also imagine self-powering ships using green energy sources and airlines with streamlined operations, both freed from private control's profit-oriented approach. Imagine the transformation if we introduced automated electric vehicle fleets in urban areas, integrated seamlessly into city life, reducing the need for private vehicles. Implementing cleaner technologies like nuclear marine propulsion and tackling pollution issues become feasible when global shipping is considered a public good. In the era of space exploration, it seems preposterous to leave control of limitless space resources to private corporations. Instead, a globally cooperative effort, shared among all, could help us reap the rewards without igniting territorial conflicts. Public ownership of transportation, when combined with our basic dignities, can help create a borderless individual. This paves the way for a profound freedom where everyone is free to travel, connect, and direct their energy towards personal pursuits, regardless of their circumstances at birth. In summary, integrating transportation into our dignities is essential, as it directly impacts our lives and our potential to thrive in a relationally interconnected universe. Energy is a fundamental human dignity, vital for individual and collective progress. It integrates with every aspect of human life today, and our demand for it will only increase over time. Today, the privatization of energy plays a significant role in exacerbating crises, limiting our ability to access the world's offerings and redirect ourselves away from the crisis of extinction. To see energy as a global public good, we must shift our focus to renewable sources, such as solar, wind, and water. Solar power, especially, is a virtually untapped resource, with potential solutions like space-based solar energy capture. The debate is not about availability but the direction we choose, whether we continue with the risk of nuclear power or harness the modular design and flexibility of renewable technologies. Additionally, an energy DAO would serve as a global cooperative to usher in an era of superstructures. For example, today we possess the power and capacity to develop a planetary solar energy network leveraging satellite networks that could beam energy collected down from space to Earth. Embracing energy as a human dignity not only supports our journey towards systemic actualization, but also paves the way for future self-actualizing individuals. It's a vital step towards expressing our divinity in alignment with the single truth and the relational universe. This concludes our introductory course on the 8 Dignities. To dive deeper, please visit singletruth.org to read and download our full text.